Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the 72nd annual membership meeting of the ARC Westchester. We are ready to begin. Please note there may be a slight delay between presenters and polling. I would now like to introduce Kyle Cahill, President of the ARC Westchester Board of Directors.
And for the record, it is confirmed that we do have reached a quorum and are ready to begin this virtual meeting. I would like to call to order the ARC Westchester's 72nd annual membership meeting. May I have a motion and a second motion for the approval of the special meeting and annual membership meeting of September 15th, 2020?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Thanks, Rudy. You will see a virtual poll appear on your screen for you to approve the minutes. Employees of the ARC Westchester may not vote.
Thank you. The poll is now closed. Kyle, you may continue.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Glucksman, Treasurer of the ARC of Westchester, for the Treasury report.
Thank you, Kyle. There should be a couple of slides that you'll see. They may be difficult to read. They are posted on the website for your reference as well. Obviously, it was a difficult year in 2020, but the agency performed extremely well, generating revenue of $53,865,000, had expenses of $52,655,000, for a net surplus of approximately $1.2 million. The end of the year with total assets of a little over $51 million and unrestricted net assets of $31.6 million. We could go to the next slide, please. The agency continues to get most of its funding from Medicare and Medicaid. You'll see on the left pie chart, 62% of the revenue was derived from those sources. And on the expense side, most of the money was spent, 52% was spent on residential services, with day services comprising another 22%. And in addition, the administrative segment was only 7%, which is very low for a nonprofit. Essentially, that 93% of all the money is going to provide direct services to folks. That completes my report, Kyle.
Thank you, Mark. May I have a motion and a second to approve the 2020 Treasurer's report?
Motion from Rudy.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Mark. You will see another virtual poll on your screen. Just a reminder, employees can't vote.
Thank you. The poll is now closed. Kyle, you may continue.
Thank you, Mick. It is now my pleasure to introduce Rudy Lager, the president of the ARC of Westchester Foundation. Rudy.
Thank you, Kyle. I would like to welcome you all tonight in the name of the Westchester ARC Foundation, and particularly would like to thank TB and also Kyle for including us tonight. I thought I would show you here our mission statement. The mission statement should be followed not only on good times, but also in difficult times. And I think this is a good way to get started on reporting back to you on how we fulfilled our mission this year. The mission is to increase awareness and to raise financial support from the community, generate income through long-term investments, and make contributions to programs and services for people with developmental disabilities supported by the ARC Westchester. So how did we do in 2020? But the good news is we actually had a quite successful year, even given all the challenges we faced together. Right from the start of the crisis, at the foundation, we created the Strategic COVID Response Subcommittee. This was a committee comprised of 4 members of our board, and we met weekly under the leadership of Nancy, and often included many of the staff members on Zoom, and were able to connect throughout the whole year. This allowed us to initially support Nancy and her team to transition to this all new work environment of remote working. We stayed very connected in that way and were able to adjust swiftly to an ever-changing environment. TB, in fact, was also able to join us on a couple of these meetings and reported back to us about the latest challenges and developments your chapter was facing. This was very helpful to us at the foundation, so we could be well informed and prepared to support you and your challenges as the year went on. In addition, we were able to strategically reposition our regular fundraising events and our annual outreach. It allowed us not only to reach our 2020 budget, but in fact, we surpassed it. And Nancy Patoda will be having some more insight to that in a few minutes. We also restructured our investments and portfolio for our long-term and short-term financial needs, so that we could take advantage of the shifting market opportunities. At the same time, we established a long-term flexible reserve, supported thanks to a wonderful gift by Virginia Donovan, and always keeping the future health of the chapter and the foundation in mind. In closing, I would like to applaud both of you, Tibby and Kyle, together with their teams for their exemplary leadership throughout the past year. This allowed us at the foundation to reach out to our donors for support without hesitation, and their response was wonderfully strong. And now let me introduce to you Nancy Patoda, the Executive Director of the ARC Westchester Foundation.
Thank you, Rudy, and thank you, Kyle. Before I begin my brief 2020 financial report, I just want to make a few personal comments. The first being my deep gratitude to you, our incredible family of supporters. What you exhibited with your generous commitment to the foundation's seemingly constant call for support was nothing short than inspirational. Gifts came in from individuals, corporations, and foundations. You gave dollars to use where it was most needed, safety and sanitizing equipment, enhanced pay for our tireless frontline workers. You gave lunches and dinners for weary support staff, sheltering in place with our individuals. You gave games and electronics to keep individuals engaged when all in-person programming and community activities closed down, and so much more. Because of you, nobody in our family is forgotten or left behind. Thank you so much for that. And now, my report. As the Executive Director of the Foundation, and on behalf of our Board President, Rudy Lager, and the entire Board of Directors, I'm happy to report that 2020 was another successful year, thanks to our generous member supporters, many of whom are on the Zoom webinar tonight. The net assets on hand as of December 31st were $6,198,875 as compared to last year at the same time, $5,188,960. $168,053. The foundation exceeded its revenue goal by nearly $1 million with total revenues of $2.7 million and answered all the funding requests from the chapter by contributing $981,000 to programs and operational costs not funded by the government, yet are of critical importance to the people we support. Through continued careful control of expenses, the foundation held its cost to raise $1 to 13%, well below the national average. Therefore, over 87% of the value of your donation is available for the direct benefit of the ARC Westchester. I'm also pleased to report continued growth in the culture of individual giving, as evidenced by 2 new inductees to the Galaxy of Stars, which recognizes donors with cumulative giving exceeding $250,000. This year, we added Mr. John Walker and his beloved late wife, Susan Walker, as well as the estate of Lizina Hope, both transformational and inspirational contributors. Thank you. And in 2019, we created a new giving level called Superstars for annual contributions of $500,000 plus in order to recognize extraordinary donor and family member, Mrs. Virginia Donovan. Virginia will be listed again in that category in 2020. And just recently, as Rudy alluded to, made an extraordinary contribution to the foundation of $750,000 from her charitable fund, proving again, she is truly an archangel. We are firmly on track to meet and exceed our 2021 goals and do what we do best, close the funding gap for the chapters so that the ARC Westchester will always be here to provide a continuum of excellent programs and services for individuals with developmental disabilities throughout the arc of a life. For those of you who have already made a contribution, thank you for your continued support. And for those of you who would like to make a gift, you can do that at any time on our website. Just click the Donate Now button. It's easy, secure, and has an immediate impact. Also, please mark your calendars for Golfing for Kids. This year, we're back to an in-person event on September 21st at the Knollwood Country Club. Thank you again, and I'm turning the meeting back over to Kyle.
Thanks, Nancy. I'm going to now read the report of the nominating committee dated March 6, 2020. Pursuant to the bylaws of the Westchester County Chapter of the ARC of New York, Article 9, the nominating committee presents the following list of nominations to be acted upon by the chapter at its annual meeting, June 8, 2021. Robert Bernstein is being nominated for a 3-year term on the board. Welcome, Robert. Deborah Borenstein, a 3-year term on the board. Welcome, Deborah. Catherine Conroy, 3-year term on the board. Carolyn Holodoc, 3-year term on the board. Rosa Rodriguez, 3-year term on the board. Stephen Maskett, 3-year term on the board. Robert Nuccio, 3-year term on the board. John Barrett, 2-year position on the nominating committee. Mark Glucksman, 2-year position on the nominating committee. Sarah Phelan, 2-year position on the nominating committee. Danusha Posca, secretary to the board. Robert Nuccio, treasurer of the board. May I have a motion and a second to approve the slate of nominees? You'll see the virtual poll come up on your screen.
Motion to accept the nominees.
Second the motion.
Thank you.
Thank you. The poll is now closed. Kyle, you may continue.
Thank you. In light of the remote nature of this annual meeting, the elected directors, officers, and members of the nominating committee will submit written attestation of acceptance and commitment to their elected positions. Good evening, and thank you for joining our 72nd annual membership meeting. I am Kyle Cahill, President of the ARC of Westchester Board of Directors. We know that this has been a year filled with so many challenges. Even though we're starting to see some light at the end of this dark tunnel, the pandemic continues to impact the daily lives of our individuals, families, staff, and communities in a variety of ways. Our hearts are still very heavy when we think about the ARC Westchester family members we lost due to COVID-19 virus. Even though our losses were relatively low, one life lost is far too much to bear. We will always keep in mind the 6 individuals, 1 staff member, and 2 long-term board members who will be forever in our thoughts and prayers. The board of directors and the staff of the ARC of Westchester have always made health, safety, and well-being of the people we support our top priority. I am very proud to report that thanks to the vigilance of the support of all of you, our members, we continue to transition through this pandemic successfully. We have entered a new phase of development regarding education and programming, while we still have enhanced our ability to communicate with one another using this new technology effectively. We are grateful to so many of you who have stood by us, including our business partners, who continue to support our employment program during the closure of so many businesses. I wish to give a special shout out to our friends at the Business Council of Westchester. They shared our vision of diverse and inclusive work environment when they invited business leaders to participate in a panel discussion during Autism Acceptance Month. This informative and inspiring conversation was also viewed by 100 Westchester County businesses. It was fabulous. Despite the challenges and the obstacles over the past year, I am so proud of our dedicated workforce who have continued to provide innovative programs and services that enhance the lives of individuals with developmental disabilities every day. I'm extremely grateful to my fellow board members and staff leadership who have encouraged and guided me through my first year as president. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome 2 new board members and say goodbye to 2 others. Please join me in welcoming Robert Bernstein and Deborah Bornstein as new members to our board of directors for a 3-year term. I would also like to extend a special thanks to 2 members of our board who are stepping down this year, Patricia Capurso and Sarah Phelan, who are longtime board members who have graciously contributed their time, knowledge, and expertise for many years. Thank you for your contributions to our mission. You will always be a part of the ARC Westchester. Before I close and introduce Tibi Guzman, the ARC of Westchester's Executive Director and CEO, I want to take a brief moment to thank her for her unwavering leadership and professionalism over this past year. Her judgment and clear decision-making is a source of strength to each of us as we continue to move forward, fulfilling our vision, values, and mission. Thank you again for joining us this evening. Tibi.
Thank you, Kyle. I am humbled by your wonderful words and your confidence in our leadership during one of the most challenging times we have experienced in our 72-year history. We did not quite know what was ahead of us when the pandemic started. What we knew is that you, along with the board of directors and the foundation, gave us the guidance, confidence, and support to successfully move forward. Now, dear members of the ARC Westchester, I wish to also welcome you to our virtual 72 annual membership meeting. It has been an eventful year, and I have previously shared with you many stories of our journey. The crisis we faced during the pandemic, along with many challenges and heartbreak, tested our ability to sustain our core values. You have all witnessed the swift response of our workforce heroes who continue to ensure that the safety and well-being of the individuals they support, regardless of potential health risks they may have faced for themselves and their families. Following proper hygiene procedures, wearing of masks and social distancing continues to be part of our daily routine. all of us have developed a renewed understanding and commitment to the health and safety of the people we support, our colleagues, and our entire community. The reopening of the tri-state region has allowed us to increase in-person programs and activities while continuing to follow all guidelines required by OPWD, Department of Health, CDC, and the State Education Department. Our dedicated professionals have been utilizing remote technology not only to teach new skills, but to continue social relationships, which everyone has been missing for so many months. I wish to take this opportunity to thank all of the families listening this evening who extended their trust in us with their precious family member and who have been so cooperative and patient while we safely resume our daily programs. Because of all of you, I am confident we are well prepared to address any challenges we may encounter in the future. We continue to update our strategic plan designed to move us forward with the reopening of our day programs, increase residential community outings, and additional preschool classes to provide a safe learning environment. Since the end of last year, we have made it an urgent task to facilitate access of the COVID-19 vaccine to all individuals we support and our staff. A vaccine education plan was developed and executed to inform our staff about the benefits of the vaccine and the important role they play in preventing the spread of the virus in the workplace. As a result, I am very pleased to report that for the past month, we have maintained COVID-free among our residents and staff. One new challenge we are facing is the potential staff shortages. The pandemic has a huge impact on hiring across the country, and the direct care industry is no exception. We are developing new strategies to build up our workforce to recruit and retain these critical staff members. The COVID-19 crisis has also created major funding challenges for us. As a result of the OPWD's fiscal position that they took, we are going to experience drastic funding cuts in Medicaid and other state funding streams. Our state office, the ARC New York, continues to develop advocacy campaigns that give us a platform to easily share our voices with state representatives. We appreciate your participation in these advocacy efforts as they have proven to be effective to help us seek fiscal sustainability and retain vital staff that are critical to the future of services for all people with developmental disabilities and their families. But for now, I am grateful to see some light on this long road due to the introduction of vaccines and the decline in hospitalizations and infection rates. Your continued support, generosity, and friendship has guided us through this challenging time. We are all hopeful and eager to get back to our lives once again, gather with friends, and hug our loved ones. We can all be proud to say that together we will get through this, and together we are stronger. Thank you all. This is a special moment of our meeting when we now celebrate two special members of the ARC Westchester family. If you like to send congratulations in the chat box, we will be sure to send it to the honorees. It has been a tradition at our annual meeting to present an award to a person who has shown outstanding advocacy leadership skills on behalf of our mission. This year, I am very proud to present Diana Hurt with the 2021 Richard P. Swearet Advocate of the Year Award. Congratulations, Diana. Diana is a participant in Choices, a community-based program where Diana keeps busy working, volunteering, and advocating with her peers. She has a contagious smile and always exhibits a positive attitude about everything she does. Diana is a team player, always willing, she willingly shares her ideas and speaks up for herself and others. Due to this challenging year, she adapted to remote learning and assisted the Choices staff multiple times in moderating webinars on topics like advocacy game show and Zoom tips. Actually, Diana, I would need your help with that. Diana is loved and respected by her family, friends, and staff. We are very proud to present her with this recognition. I wish we could present this award to her in person. However, we are fortunate that she took some time out of her busy schedule to record a few words that I will share with you now.
Good evening, staff, individuals, and families of the Ark Westchester. My name is Diana Hurt, and I want to thank all the staff at the Ark Westchester for encouraging me to come out of my comfort zone. I feel so honored to receive the 2021 Rick Sward Advocacy of the Year Award. When I started Choices 10 years ago, I was very shy and never spoke up. My staff worked with me on a daily basis to believe in myself. It took me a while to grasp what being an advocate is all about. I learned the only way I could inform others about my feeling and bring the attention to certain issues was to advocate and speak up for myself. What helped me is a lot of practice and always being persistent in everything I do. Again, thanks for this amazing honor and stay safe.
Thank you, Diana, for your inspiring words. We're so happy to hear you join our meeting tonight. Now, this is our second honoree. It has not been our tradition to recognize employees of the Ark Westchester at our annual membership meeting, but an exception has been made for someone who has been on the front line of innovation, inclusion, and advocacy. And that is no other than Fran Picaro. For over 51 years, Fran has been the dedicated and the energetic leader of our children's school for early development. She will retire on the last day of school, knowing that she has provided encouragement, hope, and love to so many children and families over her outstanding tenure. In the 1970s, it was a challenge for families of infants and toddlers to find vital supports and quality education needed to ensure their child would thrive. Under her leadership in the early years, as you can see there, a lovely picture of Fran, Fran fearlessly advocated for us to be the first agency in Westchester County to receive funding that would provide services to infants and toddlers in their own homes. She has always believed that early intervention is the key to successful outcomes for children. Fran also was passionate and fought to gain approval to move the majority of services for preschool age children from center-based classes to preschools in the community. She knew it was our responsibility not only to support the developmental progress of children with disabilities, but to encourage an inclusive learning environment that would benefit the lives of all children in our communities, setting them on track for success. This amazing woman was not only dedicated to her kids, as she would refer to her students, but she recognized many of the funding challenges the school faced due to the budget cuts. She rallied her families, staff, and friends to develop fundraising initiatives that could make up some critical revenue losses. Her vision of a small golf outing turned into a successful annual event. Golfing for Kids emerged and has raised over $3 million since it began 21 years ago. We look forward to its continued future success. Fran is universally respected by her colleagues, admired by her staff, and loved by the children and families she has known throughout her career. Her exemplary service is admirable, and she is an example for all of us to follow. Due to the safety considerations for all, we sent Fran a parting gift accompanied by a bouquet of flowers. Fran, thank you for enriching us all with your love of teaching, dedication to our mission, and creation of the best children's school ever. We will all miss you, especially your colleagues at the children's school. We send our best wishes to you, your husband, Jean, your 4 children and grandchildren. You will always be part of the ARC Westchester family. Now I'd like to invite Fran to say a few words. Fran?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Tibby. I may not look exactly the same as I did 50 years ago, but I still have the same love in my heart for my job. Same as I did when I started as a teacher. I could not have grown in this leadership position without the love and support of my family and friends, especially my husband, Eugene. I do not deserve all of these accolades expressed here tonight, but I am truly touched by the thoughts and the wishes and the accomplishments that have been accomplished by the staff at the children's school. The real stars of the children's school are the teachers and the classroom teams who have dedicated their careers to serving young children with a disability. All these years, the children's school has been blessed with the talents offered by so many committed professionals, both on the front lines and those who work behind the scenes. The parents we have had the privilege to serve have been our guide and our inspiration. We are so grateful to them for always challenging us with their unrelenting courage. The ARC Westchester Board and Administration deserves credit as well for their continued support of the school. I am confident that the next 50 years will be filled with even greater achievements. I promise to support the children's school with our continued involvement in Golfing for Kids. So I'm not saying goodbye because I hope to see you again at our next fundraiser. Thank you for the memories.
Thank you, Fran. That was lovely. And we're not going to say goodbye.
Oh, good.
Now I'd like to turn the meeting over to Kyle.
Thank you, Tibby. Fran and Diana, congratulations to both of you.
Thank you,
Two
Kyle.
outstanding individuals. Thank you. So now, as I think we're coming to the close of the meeting, can I get a motion to adjourn in a second?
Make a motion.
Rudy?
Second.
Thank you. And the poll will appear on your screen. And thank you, everybody, and stay safe.
The poll is now closed. Thank you very much. Kyle, you may continue.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening. It was a quick meeting, but we accomplished what we set out to do. I hope it was informative to everybody. Thank you for all the panelists for participating. And I wish everybody a lovely evening. And thanks for participating. Stay healthy, be safe. Good night.
You.